selective service, yes.
Yeah.
I read the release about how they say that you
Yeah.
might think you don't
Because we-
qualify, but you do. Yeah, I saw it. I read it. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
And that takes a
Yeah.
few minutes. And then when does unlawful presence occur?
Okay.
We look at the I-94,
Okay.
generally,
Okay.
the immigrant intending for NIVs.
Okay. And I just want to quickly point out that the website, Department of State website, has changed for visa numbers. So if they're going to look it up, they need to just
Yeah.
click on something different. So, okay. Good. Good.
You didn't water, you're all right?
No, I'm fine, thank you. But you know what? The lights are really hot. Can you cool them down?
It is.
Can you blow on the lights? So this next one, we missed Easter already, right? It was yeah, that was over. Okay. Okay. So now we should say, hope everyone had a nice Easter holiday. Yeah, we hope everyone had a nice Easter holiday. That was last week.
Yeah.
Okay. That was last week. Say, I hope everyone had a nice Easter holiday. Welcome back. And I need to announce the New York office because we're going to be moved by this time.
You did not miss it. 21st is Easter.
Oh, good. Okay, perfect. So this is
tomorrow
Easter.
Easter, you can say tomorrow.
Right, tomorrow's Easter. Yeah,
Okay.
21st is Easter.
right.
All right.
So I'm just going to try to think of,
You wanted something, right?
I'm sorry?
You wanted something?
No, thank you so much. Thanks.
No, I went to get something, I forgot. You asked for something?
No, it's okay. We're good.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Oh, yes, no.
Oh, no. Don't worry about it. I was just,
Yeah, you can put on sound if there's no
it
sound.
would be good
Yeah,
if you could because
of course.
it's so hot. So it's going to be like in August?
Yeah.
I'm just saying a prayer for all of our H-1Bs.
Yeah.
Okay. I just said my H-1B prayer. I usually say it in front of the FedEx guy. I should send out like a big email thanking all the FedEx guys across the country for dealing with the packages at the immigration law firm. Can you imagine 100,000 packages being delivered to immigration tomorrow?
Yeah,
It's crazy.
that's what they need.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm just going to make it feel.
Hello viewers, welcome to our program on immigration and you. I am your immigration attorney Michael Fulwani, and once again we have with us attorney David Nachman, my partner.
Thanks so
David,
much,
welcome.
Michael. Thank you.
Now today's program, let's talk about small tits and bits, the issues that we see from time to time. For example, I don't know how many times we have seen a person who is applying for a citizenship. Then he fills up the form, there is a question. Have you registered for the selective service? And some people don't even understand what that is. So basically, selective service is required like draft, they call, in some countries.
Mm-hmm.
That any person who's in the age of 18 to 26 have to register for select service if he's a green card holder.
Correct. Yeah.
Doesn't apply to students or other people.
Right.
So that is a requirement, and failure to do that may disqualify them for the citizenship.
Could.
And the omission, whether there's omission, they always look at whether it was a simple omission or intentionally willful.
Right. Well, I think that our viewers need to know that when they apply for naturalization, there is a question on the naturalization form that says, did you apply for selective service?
Person
So-
he didn't, he's saying no.
Right.
But
and
then you
it's-
get an explanation.
That's exactly right. And,
And
so that's
obviously-
what you're talking about is what would the explanation
Yeah,
be?
we have done in the past, like I had people coming from Gujarat in a small place like Kalol or whatever, Mehsana, anything, I can tell. And he just came in, he lived in with his parents and family, Gujarat, never had a chance to interact with people who might have mentioned that to him. So they don't pay attention to that, and they don't realize anything until they want to apply for citizenship. And when they see the question, say, what is it?
Right.
And then the problem comes. So we had cases where we put an affidavit and explaining the circumstances under which he was brought up, and he remained even went to school. Nobody ever even mentioned about that. If he had known that, he would have certainly done it. So then he tries to register. He still has to go and register. And they'll say, we cannot register you in that time. But it shows that he made an effort even after the
Good
time.
faith attempt
Good
to
faith
comply.
attempt.
Right.
And then the immigration service has the discretion. They may accept that and still grant a citizenship. But recently, one of the meetings that they had, or liaison between the immigration service and the immigration lawyers, they said a new policy is that if the person who's applying, who's 31 years or older, then they will be more open to accept that.
More lenient.
More lenient.
Right, of course.
So that is another, like if person is 29 or 30 and he's applying
Right, because
now,
they're beyond the age that they can apply.
is wait a couple of years instead of going back. That you are taking a chance only.
Right.
But you are over 31, you are most likely with whatever explanation that you can still qualify for citizenship.
Exactly.
So and those of you who are listening to the program, who are still under the age of 18 to 26, please go ahead and register. That's the requirement of the law.
Exactly. Yeah, you're hearing it here. The idea is, and you can do it very easily, just go to your local post office, you fill out a card, and you submit the card to the post office, and it's done. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Yeah, very easy process.
Another small one. Small, it's a big one, but I'm just saying, people say unlawful presence. It's still a person that council denied the visa because of unlawful presence. So what is the unlawful presence? The overstayed is unlawful presence. And how does it trigger? When does it trigger? When does it start? Because we tell them, if you remain more than 6 months, then you are a 3-year bar.
Right.
Or if you more than a year, there's a 10-year bar.
Right.
Because of unlawful presence in the
Right.
U.S.
Well, I think it's important, Michael, that we point out to our viewers that the immigration, the bars, okay, the unlawful presence bars that's a big tidbit. That's not a small tidbit.
Yes.
I don't even know that you want to call it a tidbit.
I agree,
Because
that's what I said.
Yeah, it's
And
huge.
brief, that explanation.
Yeah, it's huge because the way that it works is that back in 1996, what happened was Congress had implemented the 3 and the 10-year bars under 212, Section 212A9, Sub 1 and Sub 2 of the Immigration and Nationality Act. Sub 1 has to do with the 3-year bar, and Sub 2 has to do with the 10-year bar. So essentially what it says is that if an individual is in the United States for 180 days, then 181, then 181st day, over 181 days, they will have the 3-year bar that applies.
Unlawfully.
But when, right, and Michael asked, when is that bar triggered, which
yes.
is critical. It is triggered upon the departure from the United States. So if you remain in the United States and do nothing here, there's no bar, of course. But the question then, the problem is, if you go to do something at the U.S. consulate, that's when you trigger the bar because you've left the United States. So that's where the trigger comes in.
No, also the question is also, when does the meter starts? Unlawful.
When does the meter
I would
start
say
running?
that most
Yeah.
of the time, when you come to the U.S., you used to get an I-94 form, and that will say your authorized stay is such and such date.
Right. And now we have electronic.
You cross the authorized date is where it triggers in the sense of the clock.
Exactly.
And some of the people, like students, for example, when they come in, they are given DS.
Right.
Duration of studies.
Duration of status, right.
And then the students are exempted. Students, even if they overstay a year or 6 months or 10 months,
They don't accrue unlawful
incur the
presence.
unlawful presence.
Unless they have filed to change their status and that is denied,
Right.
then they start to accrue unlawful presence from the denial. Or if an individual is in front of an immigration judge and the immigration judge makes a decision that the individual is out of status and they start to accrue unlawful presence as
For
of that
example,
date.
a student who applied for H1 visa and H1 is denied, then from the date of the denial, the meter starts.
They start to accrue unlawful presence, exactly.
It's a we can talk unlawful presence itself for a couple of
Right.
hours.
And Michael Michael made a great point, because he pointed out that as an F1, you're admitted in what's called DS, duration of status. And there are other people who are admitted DS, and that are I visa holders are admitted DS, and so are J visa holders. They're also admitted DS.
Correct.
So that's also something interesting. And also, I think I'd like to just bring to everyone's attention, for Canadians, there's also an issue about people who are admitted from Canada to the United States, where if they're uninspected, well, they're inspected, they pass over the border, but they're not really given a date certain in their passport. CBP is saying that they will accrue unlawful presence, but USCIS is saying they won't. So it's very interesting. So it's really important to check the law, of course, to see how it's going to impact you. But the most important thing, and I think the point that Michael is trying to drive home for all of our viewers to understand, super critical important, is that if you're approaching 180 days of unlawful presence, being out of status, see a qualified immigration professional who will be able to tell you what to do, because leaving might be a good option, because there won't be any prejudice to you, okay? And then we can try to figure out what to do to bring you back in. But if you overstay that 181-day mark, we probably wouldn't tell you to leave, because if you do leave, of course, then you will trigger the bar, and that could be very detrimental to your case.
Correct. But what I'm saying is that when you are planning certain things on immigration, and you know that your I-94 is going to expire on such and such date, look at the options. What can you do to remain in legal status?
Exactly.
That's important. Also,
Exactly.
because the person may be on a visitor visa, he can change from visitor to F1 student visa. If he's on F1, he can continue to do some more course. But F1, of course, are exempt. But I'm saying there's always an option to extend also. Visitor visa, 6 months, he got admission.
Exactly.
And he wants to stay more time with the parents and the friends and whatever it is. He can probably apply for an extension on whatever grounds are there.
Right.
And if his extension is granted, then the date changes.
Right.
Then the date goes back to the new date that he's getting for authorized stay.
Extension of status or change of status.
Change of status,
Exactly, exactly. Michael, I have a quick tidbit that I
Sure.
just want to point
Yes,
out
yes.
to all of our viewers, so everyone is aware. We will be moving our New York office, effective probably this week, to 108 West 39th Street on the 8th floor, Suite 800. So that has been in process for several weeks. By this week, my guess is that everything is all set up, and we're going to be moving from our current location on 36th Street to 108 West 39th Street. So we, of course, invite you, if you're in the area, please feel free to stop by. But that is going to be our new New York office. So if you'd like to have an appointment in the New York office with either Michael or myself, please feel free to give a call to the numbers on your screen, and we'll be more than happy, of course, to set up a meeting with one of our qualified immigration lawyers.
It's very important you said by appointment, because you and me are busy traveling around, going here and there all the time.
Exactly.
So New York office, if you walk in, probably you may not find. So best thing
You'll
is
find an office,
of an office. Yeah.
but I don't know if you're going to find us.
Correct.
So,
always
yeah.
make an appointment before coming in.
Exactly, exactly. Another
Yeah.
tidbit that I'd just like to point out to our readers is that every month, as you know, Michael graciously comes on and talks about the priority dates that are reported by the U.S. Department of State, the visa numbers. So for many of you who are loyal viewers of our ITV program, you are aware that that the U.S. Department of State, and I've actually said this on camera, is that you can go to the Visa Bulletin at the U.S. Department of State website. That is travel.state.gov, and you can look up the Visa Bulletin. I just want to make you aware that they have changed the website. The U.S. Department of State now, what they do is they say you can go to www.travel.state.gov. You'll find the visa bulletins in a different place. So what you need to do is to click on the link that's usvisas.state.gov, and then located in the upper right-hand side of the main graphic, it says U.S. Visas. And then if you click on that, it'll take you to the section that has all of the visa bulletins for each month. So Michael, of course, tells you what the movement is each month, whether it's moving forward or backward, mostly forward. But if you want to take a look at, let's say, March, April, and then, of course, May, you can go ahead and do that because those visa numbers are reported on the web at www.travel.state.gov. And if you have any questions at all about how to access this information, which, by the way, is not secret, it's very easy to get. There's information on the USCIS website, there's information on the U.S. Department of State website, and there are several other sites. Please feel free to send us an email, and we'll be more than happy to share that information with you, because you can access this information as easy as we can. And of course, then you might have additional questions, and that's the kind of stuff that we can definitely help you with.
Yeah, another thing is that we see in the newspapers all the time information about the big brother or the government listening to your international calls or email accesses. And some people don't take it lightly, or they don't believe that's happening, but it is. Let me just give you some information that the National Security Agency system is capable of recording 100% of all foreign country calls. Agency can record and play conversations between the people. Generally, they keep it for 30 days, generally. But in some situations, it may be put into archives if they see something of importance. So, basically, they can do for all the countries. The two countries they focus on, as per the recent information, is Syria and Iran. Every call is actually recorded and kept it. But all the calls, all the countries, they do have everything is recorded. They may not be able to access it. In other words, everything is recorded for 30 days, all the calls. But if they need some information, if they have reason to believe that there's something we must look, maybe terrorism related or security related, within the 30 days they can access that information. And we have seen so many cases coming up out of this, what the name of the gentleman, Snowden?
Snowden, yeah.
Snowden.
Mr. Snowden,
He moved the whole world.
Yeah.
And everybody got very anxious. So question is that, by the way, there's a federal court judge, I think I forgot his name, who rebuked Justice Department for requesting overly broad security. So basically, some court decisions are coming in, they want to restrict. President Obama also made a statement someday that there may be some changes done, but nevertheless, as a intelligent person, you must understand this thing that your calls and emails are subject to being reviewed.
So I think what you're saying to me, Michael, is that I shouldn't be calling my girlfriends abroad, and especially not in Syria and in Iran.
Sure, you try calling that, and they transfer that information to your wife.
Or I have to wait for 30 days before it's expunged. But that's excellent information, and I think that it's super important for our viewers to know that that's a possibility.
We are running out of time again. And thank you very much, David, on being on the program.
Thanks so much, Michael.
Thank all of you watching the program. Please keep watching us every Saturday and Sunday only on ITV. Thank you very much and goodbye.
from the former employer, you want to
But
have
they
it.
cannot change it,
Yeah,
but what I'm
that's the
saying,
problem, yeah, that's the issue.
what he goes back and applies for visa at the council? Constantly raise the issue. Maybe this is a fraud, he never intended to.
Yeah, well, that's the problem.
Hmm?
That's a problem. We should talk about, like, we did a lot of employment stuff. You want to do some more family stuff for this one? Let's split it up. Let's make it, what do you want to talk about marriage case? What's an issue with marriage
Done
case?
so many times, something.
Okay, you want to talk about this issue with having the bride deported, like we talked about in the car, or no? You want to talk about that?
Thing,
That's fun, yeah. That's not really legal, right? It's just, yeah, okay. I have
You got a big list,
I have
haven't
waivers, provisional waiver, the new standard on reason to believe. We can talk about that.
Okay, what else?
We have the new N400 form that takes effect on May 5th. We should probably announce that. We should talk about the distinction between
We already did that.
RFEs, NOIDs, and calls from the officers about cases so that people understand what the differences are. And then I have P3s. Those are my list. And then unless you have something else.
No. I'm getting a lot of calls on people whose visa petitions were revoked and sent back, or
okay.
revoked or sent back to immigration for review and revoking.
So let's,
But they are sitting on that.
okay.
So there was information came on one of the liaison meetings that is not a top priority, that takes time. Because that one, these cases are pending for a year, 2 years sometimes. Because according to immigration, this is not a top priority.
Okay, that's good. All right, and that feeds it. Okay, we have a program. Yeah, let me just, I'll tell you what, you start, but just hand it to me just for 2 tidbits. One is the N400 form, and then the reason to believe waiver standard,
No.
right? And then, which actually we should have raised when we were talking about the bars. It was kind of silly for us not to raise it, but, and then, okay, so I have 2 issues, and then I'll hand it back to you and we can talk
I
about
have a couple of things,
revocation.
little,
okay.
2 minutes. IRS advisory, that a lot of people are calling that I'm from IRS and asking questions or saying
That's good.
and
I heard about that,
they memo the unsolicited calls, scams.
Yeah.
Don't respond.
That's good.
I got that call.
Did you
I
really?
was watching a short clip, short story on NBC
Yeah.
in the morning. Right after I was watching, I got a phone call. I'm from IRS. I'll have you arrested if you don't pay me. I said I hung up. That's it.
Okay.
Crazy, right?
Phone
Can you
call.
believe it? Crazy. It's
Some
crazy.
people they really got away on the.
Yeah, but because the minute they hear IRS, they get scared, you know, it's crazy, yeah.
In fact, for a show, they called, not IRS, some immigration or something. He really got scared.
Of course. Crazy.
Okay, so the other thing is about 824. A lot of people wrongly file 824,
Okay.
believing, for example, if the person is following to join, person came in, the wife, children
Oh, I
are-
read about this
child-
too, yeah.
Child and wife is behind,
You
they
don't-
file 824.
You don't have
There's
to
no
do the
need to file.
824, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
A FOIA request online. You can
Oh,
make
that's
it.
good. I did that.
No.
I
When
did,
we
I
do it?
did one. I did
When?
one.
No?
I went online and I did a
Oh,
FOIA
did
request.
that? We'll talk about
You know what I asked for?
Yeah.
I did a FOIA request in my name. I asked for the attendance sheet for all the information technologies companies that went to that meeting in Newark in October.
I see.
So I have the names of all of those people, and I'll send them
Okay.
emails. That's good, right?
So we can talk about that FOIA, and there's a decision locked away in immigration jails. And
Okay.
Florida judge which made a decision, which is mostly followed by the administration, that they cannot keep them for more than 6
This is
months.
the detainer stuff. Detainer.
6 months.
Detainer. Oh, okay.
So after 6 months, that we have seen people being released after 6 months.
Okay.
Unless they can deport them, if you don't do any further action on them, they cannot just keep in detention for
Okay.
more than 6 months.
Here, give me the garbage. I'll put it in here.
No,
Then-
it's not done yet.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, just, then you don't leave it on the table. Yeah, okay.
So, let me see.
Okay, we ready?
I'm ready.
Oh,
One second, 1 second.
I'm ready to go home. Hi, Dad.
IRS. This is the last program. Go back to office, I have to look some P3 files to get the information and give it to Kirsty tomorrow to see. Plus, send them an email.
Do it tonight. So we should have gotten it out today.
But I'm seeing what to
I know. Just so many. Hey, how are you? Nice to see you. What's going on?
Dave, wow, very nice.
How are you?
Very good.
Good, yeah.
You look good.
My God, it's been,
How's everything? Like a whirlwind, right? I know.
H1 tomorrow has been crazy, and
Of
I
course.
have a Second Circuit petition for review that I'm filing along with a stay order, and
I
that's
see.
been keeping me.
What, second circuit, what?
It's amazing, right?
It's a
just
petition
like,
for review, yeah. So I have a client in detention in Hudson County.
I see.
So
U visa. Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's just.
It's insane. It's
and
it's
the
really.
case.
Oh,
It's-
okay.
It's been from beginning to end.
You're doing well.
I don't know.
You look good. You look good.
No, my belly gets bigger. That's all.
You look good. You look good. You actually look, relatively speaking, you look relaxed. So yeah.
Does he need-
So under
not
the
getting-
circumstances,
That's what
you're aging well.
He's not getting enough time to go to the gym in the morning.
And forget it. You know, I hurt my leg.
You hurt your leg?
I slipped on my parents' driveway.
Parents
So-
driveway, sue them.
I was trying to.
The insurance
I
company.
said, "Get
So the
out."
insurance company, of
I
course.
think I told him.
Yeah.
Better.
My podiatrist, the first thing he said was, "Do they have good insurance?"
Yeah, of course. And tell them, say, Dad, look, it's nothing personal. You have an insurance policy. I'm just doing the insurance policy.
Dave Viswanath versus Barnett
versus
Viswanath.
Viswanath.
I'm not divorced.
Right,
That's not right. Well, so it's funny. I just mentioned it to two friends of mine, the firm that I'm affiliated with, right? And he was like, "Oh, it's too late anyway." Because
Oh, you have to give notice
Well,
to the-
no. Actually, the incident occurred within the snowstorm, so there's no question of there's always a reasonability to.
Yeah.
Darn.
Yeah, right.
Darn.
But I went to India.
You could have
I was
retired,
traveling
man.
around.
Could have
I mean, it's
retired.
all over the place. Yeah, it was not easy.
Ah. Well, nice to see you.
You too. I'll be here. So.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to get the address for the hotel, Dr. Viswanath's hotel, because
Yeah.
matter of fact, I was going to call you last week and ask you. Okay.
Hello viewers, welcome to our program on immigration and you. I am your immigration attorney Michael Fulwani, and once again we have with us attorney David Nachman, my law partner.
Thanks so
David,
much, Michael. Always a pleasure.
So in today's programs we talk about little tits and bits and information that probably be very helpful to some people, even if it is not immigration related. For example, there's a news coming in and there's advisory from IRS, International Revenue Service, that they have seen that some people just call scams. So they are issuing a warning to the taxpayer that to be aware of the phone calls that they are getting from individuals claiming to be representative of IRS. And it's like calls, unsolicited calls, they are scams. So the warning and advisory is that if anybody is calling you, I'm from IRS, and you still have to send $719. If you don't do within 24 hours, your bank account will be frozen and all that. All kind of, and people get worried immediately, right, that they give them a PO box number and something. So you have to be careful. I mean, scams are scams. Scams have happened many times. Even in immigration field, we have talked in the legalization program,
course.
the SA program, the political asylum program. That's on our side of the immigration. But this is because, especially it's the tax season. I mean, the tax
Exactly.
season, people are filing tax returns, and a call comes from IRS, which is not unusual.
Right, and we don't want our viewers to fall prey to these types of antics. So,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly. Okay, another thing that we see quite frequently is filing of Form I-824. And I have seen